And we are back right here on the number one rated business show. I'm your host once again, Casey Pride. Thank y'all so much for joining us. The Contract Slayer. I see you all the way down on the south side joining us. Thank you so much. I got an interesting show for y'all today. Um, Today we're talking law. Yes. As y'all know, I've gone through some legal troubles myself. Luckily, it's not criminal, but we have a beautiful, wonderful from the Foster Law Firm. I don't want to get your name wrong. I didn't practice it like 5 different times. Everybody in here can tell you I didn't practice your name. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I know it's the Foster Law Firm.
Yes, and I'm attorney Chinway Foster.
I told y'all it was Chinway.
So I would say like Chinway.
I told him it was Chinway. I'm from Alabama, so excuse me. I had to work on my diction sometimes. But tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background. I've read, a lot of information, a lot of news on you. I see that you guys are really, really making history with this law firm that you have created with all these beautiful sisters that you have around you. And I hear y'all ain't just pretty, y'all good at what y'all do. So
we are great.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, about myself, I'm attorney Chinway Foster, like you said. My law firm, we practice criminal defense and family law.
Okay.
I am from Columbus, Ohio. Actually, I was born in Nigeria.
Wow.
But I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Told me to tell you about myself. So I'm going to tell you about myself.
Well, I apologize to y'all for that beating that we put on y'all with them Georgia dogs. But that's all right. That's a whole nother story.
Well, hold on now. Beating? Don't say beating because we actually, when we missed the field goal, we lost. Y'all were sorry the whole time. So,
right,
but don't get me started because I did go to the Ohio State University. I am a Buckeye. I also went to Howard University School of Law.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters and a brother.
All right.
My parents live in Ohio. He said, you told me to tell you about myself.
Just a little bit.
So I went to Howard University School of Law. I always knew I wanted to live in Georgia. After I graduated, I moved to Georgia, took the Georgia bar, passed it the first time. I started as a public defender. That was what I thought that I wanted to be.
Okay.
But I got burned out after about 5 years. So I took a break for a little bit. Moved around a little bit, started teaching, doing some consulting work. I was living in Charlotte, and at the time, I just kind of wanted to be back in Georgia. So myself and my husband would move back to Georgia, and my husband actually encouraged me to start my own firm. I did, and we took off. Wow. We actually started off doing only criminal defense, but many of my criminal defense clients needed family law attorneys.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got into family law, and we are.
Wow. Now, what drew you to being a lawyer? You like to argue as a child?
Everybody always says that, but no. I mean, honestly, I had friends who, when I was younger, they were caught up in the legal system, and one thing I always noticed was they didn't feel that they had someone to advocate well for them.
Okay.
I also was a mentor in college, and I had a lot of mentees who had family members who could not afford good attorneys. So that's kind of what led me to say, I want to be a public defender. I want to be a great attorney for those people who cannot afford one.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of said, well, I do want to be a public defender, but it burned me out.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of public defense to do.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot, and it's such a thankless job. And so I took a break and started, decided to go private and start my own firm.
Wow. Now, what are some of the more specific things about law that you really enjoy? Is it more so just the winning of the criminal defenses, helping people in those type of situations? Is it, divorces and this type of thing? What are some of your more favorite cases to take on?
Well, I would say that, I'm passionate about both criminal defense and family law. I'm passionate about taking people through the system.
Okay.
Because most people come to me broken. They're in a difficult situation. Oh, yeah. They're facing probably the most difficult times of their life. Either they're charged with something, they're going through a divorce, they got child custody, your money, someone's trying to take your money. So taking them from that position that they're in, taking them through the system, whether it's criminal defense or family, and bringing them out on the other side in a better place than where they were when they came to me. That is, I would say, my favorite part about what I do.
I ain't gonna lie, now. Y'all are some special folks, because I promise you, because you had this idea in your head, but when you go in court, you find out the law to work a completely different way.
Yeah, and I think people watch TV and they think law is supposed to be a certain way, or they've heard, and then when you go in, it's completely different. So it's really important to have an attorney who knows what they're doing, who knows the system, who's able to take you through that process.
Now, when you started putting this practice together, did you intentionally say, "I'm just doing this with Black women," or was it one of those type thing you just kept meeting the right people?
When you say I'm doing it for Black women, you mean hiring Black women,
Yeah.
or because we represent most of our clients really are men.
Okay, I'm sure.
On the criminal defense and family, we have women clients as well.
Okay.
So no, when I went into this, I wanted to, and as we started to grow, my reputation luckily preceded me, and people
Okay.
knew that I was a great attorney and that I cared about my clients. So when we started growing, I couldn't take everyone who wanted to hire me. So in building my law firm, I wanted to get people who had the same mindset and
Okay.
mentality as I did in representing people, and how you approach your clients, and how you represent the clients, and how you fight for your clients. And those people happen to be Black women. I mean, it wasn't on purpose. I know that it would sound great if I said I only wanted to hire Black women, but no, I interviewed anyone who had the requisite skills that I was looking for.
Okay.
And it's relating to people who come to you. You might be a great attorney, but if you can't relate to your clients and they don't trust you, you're not going to be able to do what you need to do. So in the women that I hired, each woman in my law firm, they have the same mindset, and that they're aggressive, they're effective. That's our tagline, but it's for real. We are aggressive and we're effective, and then we care about our clients. You have to be able to relate to people who come to you, and they're trusting you with their life, with their money,
Yes.
with their children. So you might come to me and be a great attorney, but if you can't talk to someone, or if you take yourself too seriously, or if you don't respect the people that we represent, then I'm not going to hire you. And I was lucky enough to have the great women who work for me. So that's kind of how we came to be.
What is that
But
mentality?
can I say this though?
Go ahead.
People see law firms all the time where you see like white men, right?
Mhm.
All white men, and nobody says anything. I mean, I think it's great, and I'm proud, and I'm thankful that we're being recognized because we're wonderful Black women. But nobody asks white men, or a firm that's all men and all white, well, what is this about?
Racist, that's all.
I mean, but no.
But it is one of those type things, because we're in this age where women are finally starting to get the credit that they deserve, getting the jobs and the positions and things that they deserve, and this type of stuff. So it is something special about your practice when you can sit up here and say we are a powerful, successful law firm, and we based off all Black female attorneys. That is a powerful thing.
Thank you. And we have another Black woman attorney that starts on Monday. So
all right, I'm starting to think you're doing this intentionally, but
no, we are open to hire anyone who has the requisite skills, to be an attorney, and also to relate to our clients.
Now, do you get any pushback because of that though? Because like you just said, it is a certain perception that's perceived when you look at certain law firms is based on a lot of old white men, or a bunch of white men in general, or this type of thing. So do you get any pushback on that?
Pushback from who, like clients, or from just people?
This that public perception.
I may have, but I don't care. I don't notice.
Okay.
I think that, I do have some people who contact our firm because they see that we're Black women. But honestly, our reputation and my attorneys are so good. I mean, if you're looking for the best representation, you're going to get it with us. I mean, you can look at our reviews, you can talk to people, you can talk to judges, other lawyers. I think that our reputation precedes ourselves. So when you look at us, you see Black women, but if you're thinking about your case, if you're thinking about who can win this case for me, who is the best attorney for me, if you ask around, our name is going to come up. So I think that precedes any bad perception that someone may get if they see Black women and they're uncomfortable. And honestly, if you're uncomfortable with Black women, we're probably not the firm for you.
I hear that. I'm not uncomfortable at all. Now, one thing that you did bring up was, you said the certain mentality that you bring to each case. And all I've seen Law and Order, we've seen Matlock and all this type of stuff. I'm telling my age. But what is that mentality of how you approach your cases? Like, I come to you, I made a mistake, or I'm being saying that I made this mistake or whatever, being accused of it. What is that mentality that you take with your clients?
I'm a Leo. So I'm a lion, I'm a fighter.
Okay.
but honestly, and I said this before, I think this week earlier, but we take a approach where each case is customized, right? Because no two cases are the same.
Okay.
You might be charged with you know, possession of drugs, and your friend is charged with possession of drugs, but you two are not the same person. So we customize each case. So when you come to me and you have a case, we're going to listen to you. We're going to also investigate thoroughly. That's one thing about my firm. We investigate. I have people who come to me who say, I did it. I just want to take a plea. I'm not going to take a plea, even if you want to take a plea, until I've investigated the case. Because my job is to make sure that if it's a criminal case, that the state is able to prove their case.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to investigate it, and we're going to customize your case to you, your situation, and the circumstances. So the approach that we take is it's like a house, right? You can go buy a cookie cutter house and, you have the same house as everybody else, but your house is basic. Or you can go get a customized house where it's exactly how you want and it gets you the results that you want. That's kind of like my firm. It's like we customize representation for each client and family, whether it's family law or criminal defense.
I mean, I love that you said, especially on that plea part, because I hadn't always been a Christian. But one of the biggest things was I've been in situations where I was actually told you are better off taking a plea on this, even though, yes, the copy is lying on you and this type of stuff. But once you get on that stand, it's going to be you versus the state trooper. And trust me, the jury going to believe the state trooper over you and this type of stuff. And of course, you start to think of it, especially as a black man or whatever. You start to think about it, yeah, they probably going to hang me to dry, whether I'm guilty or innocent and this type of stuff. I ended up pleading NOLO on that case. But in the same breath, it's like, what do you do in that situation when you are up against something like that? Because, of course, we're in Georgia, and we know the perception that the cops going to tell the truth, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. But what do you do in that case to try to help, prove that when it's my word versus just that police officer?
Well, the real work happens before you get on that stand. So you want to have an attorney that knows the law, right? That knows how to get discovery that you're entitled to when you're charged with a crime. Who knows how to file the proper motions, that even if the officer knows how to investigate the officer, pull the officer's record, because if they've done it to you, they've probably done it to someone else, and be able to file the right motions before the court to bring it to the court's attention. My job is to protect my clients. I'm like the armor, right? So I'm going to fight with the police before you ever have to get on the stand, if you even have to get on the stand.
Okay.
In a motion, let's say that an officer pulled you over and had no reason to pull you over. They said that this is like a case that I had in Coweta County. And the officer in Coweta County, no offense, Coweta County is, if you're from Georgia, you know how Coweta County is. This officer pulled my client over because he said that he failed to maintain lane, right? So when we asked for discovery and we look at the video, my client did not fail to maintain lane. And then there were several other procedures that the officer didn't follow. So I was able to file a motion to suppress the stop, because if the stop was illegal, then anything that comes after the stop needs to be suppressed or needs to go away. So we were able to get the video, play the video. I was able to question the officer and drag the officer on the stand, which is what we do best. Drag officers or drag people who are not honest. And we were able to get the case dismissed without my client ever having to testify.
Wow.
So it's really important to have a good attorney who knows how to do that work before you ever have to get on the stand, if you do have to get on the stand, and make the officer and make the state prove their case. But a lot of people don't remember, you don't have to prove anything. The burden is not on you. The burden is on the state. If they're going to charge you with the crime, they need to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So a good attorney will know how to do the investigation and what they need to do to protect you, to be that armor that you need before you ever even have to face the judge, the prosecutor, or the police that arrested you.
I should have called you, because they lost the video and gonna tell me that this cop did something that he didn't do.
See, that's a violation if they lost the video. So yeah, you should have called me.
But I live in Paulding County, so I was like, I ain't even about to deal with that.
Coweta County might be a little bit worse than Paulding County.
Really?
So. Well, I'm not going to talk bad about these counties. I'm not going to talk bad about these counties, but some of these police departments are a little shaky.
Oh, yeah. But, no, it is like, it is nothing else like walking in that courtroom and having that representation. I promise you. It's such a relief versus going there by yourself. You're scared. You're looking at a judge. You're looking at a jury and all this other type of stuff. So, no, I believe in lawyers like no tomorrow at this point in my life, especially going through a divorce.
Your divorce sometimes is worse than being charged with a crime. So,
oh my God, you deal with divorces a lot?
We do. We do 50% family law and 50% criminal. So we deal with divorces, child custody, modification, contempt, child support, anything family law we deal with.
Wow. Now, we've talked about your mentality and this type of stuff. What are some of the more interesting things that you love about being a lawyer?
Interesting things that I already said I like taking clients through.
Like what
And
type
I
of cases
love
you like to take on?
murders.
Really?
No, well, let me say this. I love taking on cases where it seems because things are never what they seem. Since we're talking about criminal law, I'm gonna stick to that. Things are never what they seem, and I've had people all the time ask me, "How can you represent somebody who killed somebody?" Or it's never what it seems. Like and I like dissecting a case. I like bringing things to light, even though I don't have a burden, but I like when I have a case where, especially if it's a young person,
Okay.
and they're defeated when they come to me, and I can tell that something was done incorrectly, or something was wrong, with the system. So I like getting in, dissecting those cases, and like I said, coming out on the other side with my client on top, or being able to go home. Those are the cases I love the most.
You of course you heard about Tyree in Memphis.
I did.
How did you feel about that one? Are the police being charged enough for what they've done to that boy?
Well, so I don't know the law in Memphis, but they were charged with second-degree murder. In Georgia, I would hope that they will be charged with malice murder, because to me, and I haven't watched the video. I've chosen not to watch that video because,
I shouldn't have. I did. I couldn't believe that.
I mean, it's tiring to see Black men being killed on camera. I mean, that's traumatic, and we've seen it enough in the past couple years. So I can believe that it happened without having to see it, because I see it all the time in the work that I do. But of course I've read about it. I've followed it. I just haven't watched the video, but it seems there was no reason for them to do what they did to him. It was a traffic stop. And I think that you have so many police officers who are just drunk on power and having power over people, especially people who they feel that are helpless, or people who they feel that are powerless. So no, I don't think that they were charged enough. I think that they should be charged whatever the highest level of murder is in Tennessee.
First degree too.
Yeah, is what they need to be charged with. Because I mean, there's no, and again, I don't know what the law is in Memphis, so I don't know how their charges in Tennessee. I don't know how they do the charges, but whatever the highest is what they should be charged with.
Dealing with, especially in criminal law, it's got to be one of those type of things that weigh on you. Where do you find your peace in life?
Going home.
You really able to put it away when you get home, or you still working on the case and all this type of stuff late at night?
I mean, I had to, I have a good friend, Barbara Joy, who we went to this retreat where it's at a certain time, Dr. Barbara Joy, by the way, at a certain time, I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Because my thing is, I cannot answer a call. It's emails, but getting emails at night and you feel like you have to respond, you see a client sent you an email, I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb when I get home. So unless you're like my mom or a good friend, you're not going to get through. So I do turn it off, and I also try to take vacations, because sometimes you just need to get away. And I enjoy my weekends. When I'm not at work, I make it a point to not be at work.
I'm with you on that. I'm trying to not be at work in a few hours. What are some of the things that you enjoy outside of the courtroom?
Travel. I love to travel. I love spending time with my husband, spending time with my dogs, talking to my family, my friends. I mean, I really enjoy doing nothing, because my life involves doing so much all the time. If I can sit at home and do nothing, that's probably my favorite thing to do. I know that sounds weird. My favorite thing is to do nothing.
I'm with you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, so working in this practice, what are some of the other things that some of your other attorneys specialize in?
Well, we do criminal defense and family law, and that's all we do. I think and there's nothing wrong with people who have a general practice, but somebody who is a master of all is a master of none.
Oh yeah.
So we specialize in what we're experts in. We're experts in criminal defense and family law, and that's all that we do.
Oh, okay.
But so we have great referrals.
this great representation.
And like I said, every single woman or person that I hire, I it's not just do you have the skills. It's like I vet them, and everyone. If you're assigned to any person in my firm, you're going to get excellent representation. Every single one of them.
You expensive?
Are we expensive?
No.
Yes. I mean, we are. I mean, you could either go to Walmart and get a purse, or you can go to Louis Vuitton and get a purse.
On which?
We're Louis Vuitton.
You the Louis Vuitton or Lloyd's?
We are.
So when we are,
but hold on.
Go ahead.
But we do work with people.
I'm glad.
So we don't turn everybody away. We work with you. We know, but everybody can't afford O.J. Simpson lawyers, right?
Oh yeah.
I keep that in mind. But if it's a great case and we can work with you with the payment plan, we do try to work with you. But I don't negotiate my fees. I mean, because we are the best, and I'm not going to negotiate my fees. But we do work with people who may not be able to have the whole thing up front,
Okay.
but has maybe 60%. So we will work with you with that. So let me say that.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
And Louis Vuitton don't do layaways or payment plans, but we do.
So in your midst of doing nothing, what you got any other ambitions other than just law? You gonna write a book somewhere?
Maybe. That's a great question. See, that's a good one. I have a lot of ambitions, but probably not ones that I'm gonna talk about now. I'm gonna wait till it happens. I'm gonna come back on your show and talk about it.
We hold you accountable for it. You gotta put it out there, and then everybody can hold you accountable. Make sure you do it. I'm messing with you.
It's okay. I'm gonna come back on your show and talk about it once I get there.
I can't wait. So, you're doing criminal law. We're doing family law, and you're also the head of this practice.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like wearing all those different hats?
It's a lot. I always tell people you go to law school to be a lawyer. They don't teach you how to run a business. So luckily I have the right persons around me. My husband is my business development manager. He has a background in business. He has a degree in business.
Okay.
So to have that person who kind of knows the business aspect that can help the firm, and that's been a blessing because I know how to be a great attorney. Mm-hmm. I may not be the best business person, but I'm working towards getting there. If I didn't have my husband or the people around me that can advise me on business, I probably would be selling Louis Vuitton purses at Walmart. But because I have that, I'm not selling Louis Vuitton purses at Walmart. We're selling it at Louis Vuitton. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let me say Chanel. I like Chanel better than Louis Vuitton.
You like Chanel?
Yeah.
Valentine's Day coming up, so we're gonna send a little message.
I like Chanel. I like Chanel.
So, what is? I would say, what is probably one of the biggest cases that you've been a part of?
I don't know if it's the biggest case, but it's the one that probably has touched me the most. It's actually two. They were both murder cases, both young men. I think they were both 19.
Wow.
In the first case, my client was a passenger in a vehicle, and he didn't know these people. He was from out of town, and the two people he was with, they were brothers. They got into a club. They went into the club, got in a fight. I think they were in a gang. Got in a fight with someone in the club, and then they came back in the car. My client never went in the club, or he did, but he wasn't with them. Okay. And he was in the passenger side, and there's video of them driving off, and you see them following another car. The video shows them driving off, but it goes out of the video, and there were two people in the vehicle, and the person that survived the vehicle said that the passenger reached out the car and started shooting and shot. And this person described the passenger, described what they had on, and they said, this is who killed the person that I was with. So there was evidence that there were multiple shooters, right? And I think everyone just knew that my client was guilty, including his own mother, who actually contacted me. The state was offering him 30 years as opposed to life. He was 19 years old. And his mom was like, you have to get him to take it. You have to get him to take it. I want him to be able to get out one day. As opposed to life. So, and my client told me, he was like, Attorney Foster, I didn't do this. And he was adamant about it. So we did what we do. I investigated that case thoroughly. And there was a lot to it, but just one thing to bring up is the gunpowder residue. They said that he was hanging out the car shooting. And if
Right.
he's hanging out the car shooting, he would have had gunpowder residue on his sleeves, right? But all the gunpowder residue was on his chest. And it matched with what he had told me, which was the driver was reaching over me shooting.
Okay.
So we were able to do what we do, bring that to the jury's attention because we actually went to trial as well as other issues with the case. And the jury found my client not guilty. And both the driver and the backseat passenger were found guilty. But my client, the passenger, who everyone knew was guilty, was found not guilty. And that case touched me because he wasn't from here. So as soon as he was found not guilty, I went to the jail because it's for some reason the people at the jail get mad when you get found not guilty. So I had to make some calls. I went to the jail. We actually picked him up, drove him to the bus station, put him on the bus to get him out of Atlanta. And he contacts me from time to time. He's in college. He has a child, and he's doing excellent. So that case sticks with me because I had a really special relationship with him. And I think that the world was against him, and he felt that everyone, again, even not that his mom was against him, she just thought it was in his best interest to take this plea.
Wow.
So that case touches me. It's another case that I had. This one actually was on First 48. So I'm actually not going to talk about this one because this one is probably going to be a documentary one day. It was really crazy, but yeah, we also that case, we were about to get found not guilty, but the state ended up dismissing the case at the end. So those are two cases that probably stick with me the most.
What do you tell parents in that situation? Because I think that's parents' biggest fear, that my child's going to end up in the car with somebody and their friend going to do something, and then you're going to go down with your friends and this type of stuff. That's actually happened to me once before when I was young. In the car with somebody. I didn't do anything. I was just in the car. But everybody went to jail behind it. What do you tell parents in that situation?
I mean, I think that kids need to see these stories, and we have a YouTube series. Or it's called Pop du Jour on YouTube.
Okay.
But we have a YouTube channel, and one of the things that I talk about is party to a crime, because these kids don't think that they can get charged because they were with a friend.
Yeah, thank you, innocent. I ain't doing nothing. That's exactly
being
what
there with them, all of you are going to be charged. And I think the parents need to let these children know you can actually be charged by just being with the wrong people. So I think educating children of what could be, because you can't keep, I mean, of course you want to tell your kids that they can't go out, but I mean, in reality, you can't. They're going to go out. They're going to be with their friends. So I think if you educate children, if you see something is about to go, or if you have a friend that's talking crazy, get out the car and call me and tell me to come get you. But I just think really educating people helps. And when people know what they could face, I think a lot of times, especially juveniles, they'll think, oh, I'm 16. 16-year-olds can get charged as an adult.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think education to the parents, to the children, I think that that's a start in helping deter kids from being around people and getting caught up.
Wow. And what's the future for your law practice?
To grow, continue to grow. I want to hire more people, not just Black women, excellent attorneys who can relate to clients. I love Black women. Of course, I'm a Black woman, but grow, open up other offices so that we can help more people. That is the future of my firm.
Now, you say you originally from Nigeria by way of Ohio.
What is it? By Ohio, by way of well, I don't know, but yeah,
I
was born in Nigeria, but I grew up in Ohio. Yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. What was that experience like? Like, how long were you in Nigeria?
I was young, so I don't remember. I should remember, but I don't remember. But my parents, go back, and I do plan to go back. My sisters went back. I haven't been back, and I'm ashamed that I haven't been back. But no, I grew up in a Nigerian. My parents are Nigerian. We're Nigerian, so I grew up in a Nigerian household, Nigerian culture. But the experience was wonderful. I got the best of both worlds. My parents were very strict. They had that strict Nigerian parents.
Women don't play.
Yes, very, very strict. Education was number one. You had to get straight A's. There was no option. You had no, if you got a B, why? Why couldn't you get an A? Like, there was no excuse. So I actually, back then I was like, but I actually appreciate it because that's, I think, what my strive for excellence in everything, I think, comes from that.
I'm doing that with my daughter now. She don't appreciate it.
She will. I guarantee you she
15,
will.
she don't appreciate it. Right?
Later on, she will. Because back then, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Everybody can go out and do what they want to do, and I got to get straight A's. But honestly, it was easy to get straight A's because my parents pushed it. And really, I think for most of us, it's easy if you actually put the effort into it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it really helps me in how I approach everything. I strive for excellence in everything.
All right. So for all y'all criminals out there, but I'm in trouble. I broke the law. What's the first step that I need to do?
Don't talk to the police is number one.
Okay.
Number two is to call my law firm. That's number two, and we'll take it from there.
How do we get in contact with your law firm?
So if you have a phone and you need to call somebody, you can call us at 404-525-3082.
Okay.
That's the number to the office. You go on our website, www.fosterlawga.com, or on all social media, we're at Foster Law GA.
At Foster Law GA.
At Foster Law. Follow us. Go on there right now. Follow us. I have a social media person. Hey Chelsea, if she's watching.
She better be watching.
And actually, my prior social media person was James and Taylor. They do excellent TikTok videos. I mean, really, our TikTok and Instagram is popping.
Matter of fact, somebody
popping.
Somebody reached out to me this morning, and sent me a message right before this interview. I cannot remember what his screen name was a box.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said his name was James. He said he used to be a paralegal for you. He said to tell you what's up.
James, James, so. Stop stalking me, James. Stop stalking me. No, I love him. He was excellent. If you're watching James, he's excellent, but he's no longer with me, but we parted on great terms. He didn't get fired or nothing. He almost did. I'm just playing James.
I didn't know if he started something now. I was like, I don't know you, Brian.
Tell him I said hello. Well, I'll tell him I said hello, but yeah.
So once again, if I need to get in contact with you, I need any type of legal help in the criminal area, in the family area. How can people get engaged with you, or how can people contact you one more time?
FosterLawGA.com website. All social media is at FosterLawGA, and phone number is 404-525-3082.
And you also said you had a YouTube series. How can we watch that and support you over there?
FosterLawGA, youtube.com/FosterLawGA. We're FosterLawGA. You can find us anywhere, FosterLawGA.
Now, you like these attorneys out here on the radio, they're talking about you pick up the phone and call, and it's going to be me answering.
Oh, no, you're not going to talk to me. It costs money to talk to me. It costs money to talk to me. But you will get my intake person who will assist you and get you what you need and get you how to get to me. So.
Wow, okay. Well, before I let you out of here, just give us some basic legal advice. You've either been charged or you've been a victim of somebody busting out the back window of your car. That happened to me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But you've been a victim to something. What's just some good advice that we can always kind of go by?
So for criminal defense, I would say, and I said this before, but do not talk to the police. Like, don't. I mean, half the time people make. But
they tell us it's going to be better if we talk to them.
But they're lying to you, and the police can lie to you. Do not talk to the police. Please don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. Let me fight it in court.
Okay.
And we win a majority of the time. Let me fight it in court. Don't fight it out there. Let me fight it. Don't talk to them. You had nothing to say. You want to talk to your lawyer. I don't care if they pulled you over to a traffic ticket and they're asking you questions. Now, of course, take the traffic ticket if it's just you were speeding. But if they're asking you questions, were you over here last night? I want to talk to my lawyer. Here's the number. I want to talk to my lawyer. I want to talk to you. Don't talk to the police. That's for criminal defense. For family law, don't post anything on social media. Don't send a text to your whoever if you don't want it to be shown in court.
That is such good advice.
That's my advice.
Trust me, that is such good advice. I don't know who out there listening might be going through a divorce, but please do not send no text messages.
No.
It will be used.
It will come back and bite you. And people, you get mad and you start sending stuff. Don't.
Well, I definitely can't wait to have you back on the show to talk about your further ambitions. I don't want to see you in the courtroom. I gotta be honest.
I also want to bring my attorneys on. I'm gonna bring my attorneys on.
Please do.
They're excellent. All of them.
It's a bunch of
Yes, it is a bunch of us.
Well, once again, Attorney Chinwe Foster. I knew the name.
You did. Everybody else was wrong.
One time. I know.
You were right. But
no, once again, Attorney Chinwe Foster. If you are out there, you having any legal troubles whatsoever in criminal or in family law, y'all need to get this woman a call. She is the stuff at what she do. I'm trying to keep it PG this year. So, but no, she is one of the best here in Georgia. I've heard just so much about her. And you are literally making history in what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
for sharing this time with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Once again, it has been another episode of the #1 rated business show. I will be back. I promised y'all I was getting back to what I was doing. I will be back next week, 2 o'clock, Tuesdays and Thursdays, with another just impactful and great guest, such as Miss Chinwe Foster.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we are out.
Thank you so much. Let me figure out how to turn off my live because I've never been on live before.
First of all, you can't see all of that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're still live. You gonna hit that button right there?
Okay.
Boom.
There we go.
And then you wanna hit share, so that way the video will live out there.
Oh,